Hi everyone, it's Michelle, the Stamp Doctor, and I wanted to show you some new products and some existing products that I use together to make this finished little box. I'm going to show you all of the items in the box, then I'm going to show you what dies I used and a couple of tips for them. So here we have the paper is going to be the Tropical #2, and I use that on all of these, and then some black cardstock and some grosgrain ribbon. The For You was done with Dollar Tree glitter paper, Dollar Tree glitter paper. All right, so I have this Velcroed. I'll also link to these skinny little Velcros that are on Amazon. All right, so that is the outside retainer there because it's pretty thick. So I did put a window in the box, and then inside we have the Dove chocolates, and I did rewrap these with candy foil papers that you can get at Michael's, or as soon as Amazon's back to normal shipping, you should be able to get some from there as well. But I wanted the Dove chocolate to match. So then here we have our envelope, and inside our envelope we have our little card. And again, this is that Dollar Tree glitter paper and some glossy paper that I sell. Then inside here, I haven't added a message yet, but this is a gift card, which can slide up out of there. And I used the gift card tab dies there to make that so that it held. All right. Okay, so this is a few things here. The half A2 card and layers for this. Now, yes, you could just take a 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 piece of cardstock and score it in half at 2 3/4, and you could make a card. But dies are so much more fun. You might want to put your card die over top of a specific area of paper to get a really cool decoration. I call that scrapbooking card making, when you utilize the areas of scrapbooking paper and isolate them with a die. And then we have dies in here that layers 4 of them that cut and stitch at the same time. It's a little bit different than my regular cut separate from stitch. These cut and stitch. And then you have 6 layers that just cut, and then they offset each other. So that's what I used here. Okay, and then the envelope is this die. So it creates, and it's a lot bigger than what it shows here, of course, on the packaging, but that makes the little envelope. So now these would be perfect as just little note cards, even without a gift card. And I did make this one a little bit chunky by adding some foam to the top. But you could give little sets of note cards this way. I find it's fun to make a little note card that you might want to give with a gift, and you don't have to use a full sheet of cardstock. You can use a lot of your scraps to take up the area there. Instead of wasting a full sheet, you can make a quick little card with some of your scraps. So that's the card and envelope. What inspired me to do these is actually because of the A2 box for cards die. So this will hold a standard 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 inch card, and it'll hold up to 6 of them with envelopes. You make 2 of these. When you cut it, you cut 2, and the directions are on the package to make a top and a bottom. But I was watching a gal, and I'm sorry I can't figure out where it was to be able to share with you, but she was showing at Christmas time, if you only have the lid for your box, what you can do for like a closed box to turn it into a hinged lid box. And my brain light bulb went off and went, ta-da, I could do that with this box. So that then makes a half-sized card of an A2. So that's where I got the half A2. And I love dies, so I would rather use a die than cut by hand. So that is where I came up with the idea to make this little set. And then of course it's perfect that it holds gift cards as well. So I'm going to just show you here. I also used the small happy birthday. I used the For You. I used the gift card tab dies. This makes it so that you can put perfectly spaced tabs anywhere. There are 4 little tiny tabs, so you might want to put them diagonally on quarters, or you might want to put them somewhere else. So that's the gift card tab set. And then this is one of the first die sets that I made, and this is the gift card pouch. And it has little corner dies. What I used out of this is this die perfectly makes gift cards, or it matches the gift card design. So you can cut a piece of decorative paper and cover the front of your gift card, just make sure whatever you do, you don't alter the number on the back. Even if I were to decorate this with flowers and thick items on top of it, it wouldn't be able to scan with the stripey, but as long as they can type in that code, then the gift card could still be used, and then they can keep it all decorated intact the way that you designed it for them. So those were the extra dies, but these new dies and what we did to alter this one to go with it. So now this die will barely fit on the platform of a Big Shot, a standard 6-inch wide Big Shot. This will not cut on a Cuttlebug. It is actually too wide and it won't meet their platform. So you do have to have either a Big Shot or a larger format machine like the Spellbinders Grand Caliber or a bigger Gemini, because it is just right at the edge. So normally you're going to cut 2 to make a regular box. What you're going to do to make this a half box, and I've kind of prepped this, and I did cut it out of black, which may make it harder to see, but you know, I was in the black mode, so that's kind of what my brain did. So what you're going to do is you're going to score from this point to this point of the little finger pull on the side, and then you're also going to score here. So wherever these little points are across is where you're going to make your 2 score lines. Okay, then you're going to snip those 2 lines with scissors, which I did. Okay, so you end up with these little tabs in there, and we can go ahead and fold all of the score lines on here. Now I've gone ahead and applied the tape already just to make it quicker in the video. Let me go ahead, and I did fold the sides in. Let's fold this in. Let's fold our tabs. So you can see where I place my tape by having my tape already on it. You can see how I would do it. I put my tape right up against the fold because that's where I want it to stay tightly adhered. Okay, and you do want to make sure you're using a really good tape if you're going to do this, and really burnish it, so press it so that it goes down into the crevices and holes in the paper, because in the sun, in the heat in Arizona, even just traveling in the car, I have had my boxes and whatnot with tape pop apart. Okay, so now we have this. All right, now there's another way I determined that you could do this if you wanted to, and that is you could go ahead and just cut this tab out. So if you prefer to, you can just get rid of it, and then what you would do is just tape these 2 like this, tape these 2 like this, and then it's going to go folded over top, one over top the other, and it's going to make the box. You don't actually even see that on there. Sorry, I got off camera. You don't actually really see the tab as far as the outside of the box goes, but it makes it more sturdy. Let me show you. By having the lid be flappy and the bottom has 4 tabs connecting it, so it makes it more durable and more heavy duty. If this weren't connected, when you open it up, then the candy could just plop out on the floor. So if you're making things to sell, you might want to go ahead and leave that tab. So after I put my tape on, grab my scissors, sorry. I'm going to go ahead and trim off this tab right at that tape, or close. I keep forgetting that I do need glasses to see at certain distances, and I forget to grab them. So, a little crooked there. All right. Then you just need to pick which is going to be your top and which is going to be your bottom. And the reason I say this is 2 things. Number 1, you could have a pattern, which I don't have this one out of a patterned paper right now. But let me grab my prototypes and I'll show you what I mean. So these were when I was playing, and this is a heavier cardstock, and it has a white core. I kind of prefer using solid paper because if you fold it and crease it a lot, you get the white fuzzy lines. But if you'll notice, the words are going this way, but my box opens that way. So what I should have done when I was putting this together is fastened this back spine to this side to make it open the other way. And so yeah, it's just kind of all wonky, which I would just cover this with another layer and use it anyway, and nobody would ever know. This one I do have going the correct way. I have some elements in there I was playing around with making. But the reason especially is for that window. So you want to cut your window, of course, when it's flat, and you want to plan it. So if this were a pattern, I'm going to want my window to be out of this area here, which would be the bottom. So I'm not going to work up here, because then if I have a pattern on it, it would be going backwards. So I hope that makes sense. So pay attention to your patterns, kind of get an idea of what you want to do. Now on this, I'll do a little bit more detailed on how I actually created the window and the overlay, and the plastic is in between them, so it doesn't really show or look too ugly. But what's really fun is that the dies out of here that layer the cards, they actually fit the box as well. So they layer and trim out for the box. So it's kind of double duty. And again, that's another reason to have those layers. Okay, so long story short here, we are going to peel our tape. And if I knew where my glasses were, I would grab them. But I don't know where I stuck them. I'm in denial about not being able to see, so I kind of cut my tape up a little bit there. All right. And I do apologize. Sometimes I am ill prepared for videos or things because I have a very small work area and a lot to do, and I forget things when I'm prepping. I even make lists, but I'm terrible with lists. I don't even actually know where I put the list half the time. So, all right. Now I'm not going to do this side back here because I don't want to get off. So what I would do is I would be building the bottom of the box first. If I were putting a window in it, my window would be here. Or if I had a pattern that went a specific direction like this one, then I would build the bottom of the box first. Does that make sense? I hope it does. So we will peel this tape here. And just so y'all know that follow me or subscribe, I'll probably never have 10 bazillion subscribers, and I'll never have really fancy edited videos. I simply don't have the time or the patience to do that. So you kind of get a live action. This is what it would be like if you were watching me demo at a show. I might make a mistake, and I will just keep on going. So again, here's our bottom, right? We have it already glued on the outside corner so that we know that. So then we're going to bend this up, and there is that one. And I kind of feel with my finger if it's touching or if it's overlapping or if it's underlapping, just to make sure it's straight. And then take your, I thought I brought my scoring tool over here. Nope, left it behind me. So take your scoring tool, hopefully you can see this, go ahead and rub that tab in that corner. Can you see that? And rub this tab. And I might come back and give them another rub down later. They just need a good massage. Relax them. Actually, make them sticky. All right, so that is going to hold really well for our bottom. And then we'll just repeat that for our top here with just the top two tabs. So I love taking something and turning it into something else. I love that I can now use this box a number of ways. If you go back in my playlist and you look for the A2 box for cards video, then you'll see that you can cut a window in it. And I'm not sure if I added those images to the product page yet on the website. I do all of this, and it was a new website with a bazillion products that I already had, so I'm way behind on everything. The good news is I'll never be bored. I'll always have things to do. So we'll rub that down. Again, I'm not really certain how well you can see detail on videos without having a fancy camera set up, so I appreciate it when you bear with me. All right, so we have our top, we have our bottom, and it stretches. Supposed to go on the outside when it cooperates with you. Okay, now because of the design, it does leave little flappies. So if you don't like the little flappies sticking out of your box, that's when you would add your little belly band. You know, I didn't know forever what a belly band meant. I am definitely not very current. This is why I use the Velcro on it. So it can slide off, okay? But then to slide it back on, depending on your ribbon, like what if you used a sheer ribbon or something, you know, it can almost destroy the box getting it back on. So I like putting, and I use Super Tack, my super sticky glue that's permanent on fabric, to glue that little skinny, thin, tiny Velcro onto the ribbon. And I'm just turning around where I can see it. Maybe you can see it too. I can kind of pull it, line it up, stick it down. Now I did fussy cut the flowers out of the paper pack. Not everything can have a stamp and a die, and that can't always limit you. So you do need to, you know, branch out and, you know, fussy cut it. I like to cut right on the color of the item. That way, if I'm a little bit off, you can't see any white and you don't know. And at first glance, it looks like I cut it perfectly, but who knows? Maybe I came in a little bit farther than I needed to in a certain area, but oh well. No one will know that but me, and I've already forgotten how it looked before I cut it out. So, I did go ahead and use one of the layer dies here, the largest one, to put a layer in the bottom of the box. And then like I said, these were blue Dove chocolate, and I just used candy foils. Like I actually got these off of Amazon, and I'm trying to source these because they were a little bit expensive. They got a little bit damaged in the padded envelope that they sent. And I'll see if I can't find these, that maybe we can get a bulk order or something together of, but you should be able to get them at Michael's, where they have the Wilton candy cake decorating section. So I did not uncover the chocolate. I simply just covered over. So they're a little bit thicker, but you can see they're blue. They're completely safe. They're completely wrapped. I've been known to do this with lots of different candies just to make it the color that I want. All right, so we have our half card and layers die set. We have our envelope die set. We have those on a special. If you buy both, you save 20%. I do those combos all the time. No coupon needed. It's just going to be right there in the link that you can click and get the 20% off. If you add and don't already have the A2 box for cards die, you're going to save 25% by adding all 3 of those items. So then you'll be able to do that with the box. All right, and then the additional dies again that I used were the gift card pouch set. Lots of fun things you can do with that. I used the new For You dies, the new gift card tabs, and I used the small happy birthday dies. When the world gets back to normal and you're actually allowed to go shopping for something that is a non-essential without getting yelled at, stop by the Dollar Tree, go to their school section. They have single packs and multi-packs, 3 for $1 on sticker paper. It wasn't very sticky, so I did use some adhesive on the back of it to make it actually stay stuck. It's kind of nice too. It's not sticky back here, so I can overlap a layer and not have to worry about it like bending and sticking down because it's really not that sticky. So you can kind of get an idea by laying it out where you want to put your adhesive, and then just don't put it on those extra areas. But I don't know if you caught in my last video, where is it? Shoot. Can't find it over here. Oh, there it is. It was in my last project bin, so sorry about that. This is just baking soda in a shaker bottle. And if you want to detour or detract from stickiness on something, all you have to do, like on here also, all you have to do is coat the back of this with just a tiny little bit of baking soda. Just rub it in, brush away the extra baking soda. It doesn't turn to glue when it gets wet with anything like cornstarch would, but it makes it not sticky. So that's my little trick. Alrighty, so I want to thank you for joining me. I hope everyone is staying happy, healthy, safe, getting all the groceries that you need, and let's hope for a better time ahead. Thanks. Happy stamping. Bye-bye.